Good evening and welcome to TVM-News. Today is Wednesday, March 22nd. I'm Alex Weidner.
And I'm Kaitlin Korgeski. This week we're back from spring break and we have the latest happening in the Marywood-University community. Marywood graphic design students winning big, news about registration and the fall semester, highlights from the first softball and baseball games of the season, and much more.
One of Marywood's newest programs is being put on hold for the 2017 and 2018 school year. The master's degree in architecture program will not be open for enrollment in the 2017 and 2018 year. The National Architecture Accrediting Board recently added new requirements, and the name of the program will have to be changed to comply with these new requirements. Due to low enrollment, the Masters of Interior Architecture program was included as a suggested program for phase-out in the Strategic Resource Allocation Report from last semester. The Dean of the School of Architecture says that this is positive for the undergraduate program, as they will now be able to focus on getting enrollment up there.
Marywood-University has been looking for a new director for the music therapy program. Happening tomorrow, a meet and greet opportunity with the final potential candidate, Maria Fay. Staff are welcome from 9 to 9:50 a.m., students 11 to 11:50 a.m., and faculty 1 to 1:50 p.m., all in the Set La Vergetta Center for Performing Arts Room 108. Lunch will be provided in Nazareth Hall, and the event will end with a music therapy lesson from 2 to 2:30 p.m. in room 110. Marywood wants to hear from others on their thoughts on the potential music therapy director candidate. Just announced an hour ago by Student Activities, this year's Spring Fling theme is Galaxy Glow Out. The Student Activities posted a live Facebook video to announce the big event, so mark your calendars this year. It's on Saturday, April 29th. There will be free t-shirts and more.
A final strategic resource allocation announcement is on its way. The Faculty Senate voted on a model for the final restructuring step before spring break. While the restructuring process will bring changes to campus, students should not be significantly affected in their day-to-day student lives. The Faculty Senate and Provost Dr. Susan Terrell worked together to come to the final agreement for the restructuring.
Graphic design majors took home some top awards this past weekend. They entered the American Advertising Awards competition and competed against more than 40,000 entries. Marywood members with gold awards will move forward to the District 2 competition and judged against others from Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, and New York. The students competed against 5 other local colleges.
On Monday, world-renowned hypnotist Salish returned to Marywood. TVM's Bethany Wade has the story.
9 lucky students became stars of the show in the Latour Room on Monday night when world-renowned hypnotist Salish returned to Marywood after a successful performance last spring.
Peace. They made a funny face at you. Maybe that means peace to them. Make that same face back at them. Go ahead.
SAC member Samantha Adams talks about the reasons why Salish was invited back to campus.
It's something interesting that you can't often go to. It's something to do on campus that'll interest a large variety of people.
Volunteers sat down on the stage and proceeded to be put into a deep hypnotic sleep as Salish commanded the performers to react to a show on TV, become astronauts, and even give birth.
There it is.
Maciel Velez, a freshman nursing student, didn't volunteer at first to be hypnotized, but as the show went on, Salish hypnotized her and she joined the other volunteers on stage.
I remember when he told me to get up, and then I heard the crowd laughing when I laid down.
For TVM News, I'm Bethany Wade.
Body. Ow.
And if you're looking for something to do tonight, head over to the new art exhibit. Marywood art students will be presenting Revelations and Reflections of Our Society in the Korgeski Gallery tonight at 7:30 p.m. in the Insulaco Center for Studio Arts. The students' display will be out until April 2nd.
Also tonight is the second round of the History Club's Trivia Night. Bring a team of 3 or 4 people and make sure you brush up on tonight's topic, U.S. presidents.
Talking about presidents, some principals and presidents of local schools will be visiting Marywood next Tuesday with a workshop on emotional intelligence and academic achievement. The Academy's program is to help develop the administrative and interpersonal skills that future leaders should have in an educational setting. Ask the panel members questions by visiting this workshop. It's an opportunity to meet the panel members who are all higher positions of school districts in the area. It'll be happening next Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. on the 3rd floor of the Learning Commons.
If you want to be a leader or be informed with the latest projects the Marywood student government is doing, their next meeting is also next Tuesday at the usual time of 9 p.m. in the Learning Commons Room 331. Marywood community members may have noticed the student government recently placed new benches that also fold into lunch tables around the campus.
With the semester almost over, the Student Leadership Development Office is accepting designs for the Flapjack Fest t-shirts due on April 3rd. Check your Marywood email for more information.
It's hard to believe the spring semester is halfway over, which means registration for fall 2017 semester is only a few weeks away. The different registration dates for students are as follows: April 3rd for graduate students, April 4th and the 5th for students with 60+ credits completed, April 6th and the 7th for students with 30+ credits completed, and April 10th and the 11th for students with fewer than 30 credits completed. Start contacting your advisor now to be released for registration and to make sure you are on the right track to graduation.
A new training program to learn how to deal with inappropriate behaviors will soon be offered at Marywood. Coming next month, the Counseling and Student Development Center and the Relationship Empowerment Task Force are sponsoring this bystander engagement training program for students to handle issues such as sexual harassment or situations where consent may not be given. The 40 students trained in April will facilitate training groups for other students in the fall. The sponsoring groups say that bystander engagement is important for promoting healthy relationships and preventing sexual violence. We'll be right back with Carly for what events and entertainment are happening at Marywood now, right after this short break.
Welcome back to TVM News. Let's check in with Carly for the latest entertainment and activities happening on campus.
March Madness is coming to Marywood this Sunday. If you love basketball, hanging out with friends, or think you have basketball shooting skills, the Student Activities Crew is hosting the event Munchie Madness. Lots of food will be provided for the big game, as well as a competition to shoot the most basketballs for prizes. All happening this Sunday starting at 11 a.m. until 11 p.m. in the Upper Main Dining Hall. Spots for the Philadelphia bus trip this Saturday are still available and free. The bus will leave Marywood's campus at 8 a.m. and leave Philadelphia at 7 p.m. So if you are available this Saturday, visit the university tickets webpage before all seats are filled. As a tradition, the labyrinth returned to the rotunda. This labyrinth is a replica of the Chartres Cathedral labyrinth from 1210 and is a common way to meditate. When walking through the labyrinth, one should self-reflect, clear their mind, control their breathing, and walk at their own pace. A great chance to relax. The Marywood community is welcome to walk the labyrinth this Saturday, March 25th, and Sunday, March 26th. If you enjoy jazz music, mark your calendars for the weekend of March 31st. The Music Theater and Dance Department is presenting a jazz festival featuring music from Benny Carter. Marywood's own music students will have music prepared for the weekend full of performances. Admission is free to all Marywood community. This Saturday, the Marywood Athletic Training Club is hosting a black light themed dance in the Latour Room. The night starts at 8 and will have a live DJ. Snacks and drinks will be provided. Buy your tickets before Saturday for $15 or $25 per couple. Campus Ministry is still collecting Easter baskets. The Human Resource Office, Nazareth Dining Hall, and the Learning Commons are some places you can pick up baskets. Later, after donating items to the basket, drop it off at the Campus Ministry in the Marian Chapel. Check out more community opportunities at the Campus Ministry webpage. That's all I have for this week. Tune in next week for more happening at Marywood Now.
Thanks, Carly. Coming up next is the latest national news, 7-day weather forecast, and sports right after this short break.
Welcome back to TVM News. Winter Storm Stella brought a record snowfall to the area. Last Tuesday afternoon, WNEP meteorologists recorded accumulation over 19 inches. This beats the record from the blizzard of 1993 and was accepted by the National Weather Service as the total snowfall for the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre International Airport. The record-setting snowfall caused school closures across NEPA and shut down some businesses for at least a day before roads were able to be cleared.
It's been over a week since anyone last saw 15-year-old Elizabeth Thomas, who was abducted on Monday in Tennessee by her former teacher, Tad Cummins. Before the kidnapping, Cummins was caught kissing Thomas in a school classroom. It appears Thomas went willingly with Cummins. Many possible leads have been flooding the police department's phones, but none so far have been credible. Police have said they believe Cummins has 2 handguns and is driving a silver Nissan Rogue. Cummins has been immediately placed on Tennessee's most wanted list and will be charged with aggravated kidnapping and sexual misconduct with a minor.
After a series of tweets from President Donald Trump accusing the Obama administration of wiretapping during the campaign season and months of accusations about Trump's alleged ties to Russia, the saga came to a startling conclusion on Monday. The House Intelligence Committee held a hearing with FBI Director James Comey and NSA Director Mike Rogers. Comey said that there is no evidence to support the claims that Trump was wiretapped, and he also confirmed that the FBI is investigating whether Russia interfered in the election and if there are any connections between the Trump campaign and Russia. Because investigations are still ongoing, there's been no word on who exactly is under FBI investigation.
According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, infant mortality rates are decreasing. From 2005 to 2014, the rate decreased 15% and sudden infant death syndrome declined by 29%. This observation took place in 2/3 of all U.S. states, and no state reported a significant increase. Although not certain for what caused the great public health success, one possible reason is the ending of medically unnecessary induced labor. Since 1962, the National Institutes of Health have said infant death rates in the U.S. have dropped more than 70%. However, despite this, the U.S. still remains one of the highest rates of infant death among developed countries.
Hillary Clinton is ready to make a return to the national spotlight. Clinton was in Scranton last week delivering the keynote speech at the local Society of Irish Women's annual St. Patrick's Day dinner. In her speech, she said she's ready to come out of the woods and to help promote positive conversations as Americans are more divided than ever because of politics. Clinton is due to deliver more public addresses in the coming months.
For the first day of spring, one cereal company gave away nearly 2 billion free wildflower seeds. The company, Cheerios, recently started the Bring Back the Bees campaign, all to try to aid the decreasing bee populations. Unexpectedly, however, Cheerios received numerous complaints since the states in the U.S. banned the wildflower plants for being invasive. Yet to prove bees are dying globally at an alarming rate, Cheerios even pulled the mascot Buzz from the cereal boxes. We'll have the 7-day weather forecast right after this short break. Welcome back to TVM News. Let's check in with Sam on the Scranton area weather forecast.
This is Sam Dauenhauer with your 7-day Scranton, Pennsylvania weather forecast. Today we have a little extra snow from this morning and some fading clouds making way for a perfectly clear night tonight. Our current high is 27 degrees and the low is 14 degrees. Tomorrow, some sun to warm us up in the morning, but the clouds will return in the evening. Expect even more snow later that night. High of 38, low of 24 degrees. This Friday, there's a chance of a thunderstorm, but the sky will be calm by night, albeit still cloudy. High 44, low 41. Saturday morning will be more mild, clouds not budging all day. Expect scattered showers and another potential thunderstorm later that night. The high will be 54 degrees and the low 36. You can expect rain for the weekend and early next week, Sunday. Consistent clouds and constant rain throughout the day with steady showers at night, with a high of 47 and a low of 41 degrees. Monday calls for more rain in the morning, a high of 51 and a low of 36 degrees. Next Tuesday, even more morning rain accompanied by some mild winds and as well as a bit of fog. Once again, we'll receive a reprieve from the rain later that night, but the clouds will remain. That high will be 49 and the low 37. That's all for this week's forecast. Until next week, back to the desk.
Thanks, Sam. Coming up next, the softball and baseball teams open their seasons this weekend in Florida, right after this short break.
Welcome back to TVM News. Let's check in with Nicolo with Marywood and National Sports.
The softball and baseball teams opened their seasons in the Sunshine State over spring break. The softball team left Florida with a record of 0-7, and the baseball team has a record of 3 wins and 6 losses. 2 members of the baseball team, James Getz and Vince Rebar, were named to the Colonial States Athletic Conference Honor Roll for their performances last week. The softball team will look to get in the win column tomorrow when they play a doubleheader against Swarthmore College, while the baseball team awaits a matchup with Cairn University on Friday. 16 members of Marywood's field hockey team were named to the ZAG Field Hockey / National Field Hockey Coaches Association Division III National Academic Squad. Only 12 schools had more representatives than Marywood. Making the list requires a 3.3 grade point average through the first semester of the 2016-2017 school year. In addition to those selections, 2 team members were selected as scholars of recognition. Senior Gabby Bauer and sophomore Sam Dunn were the 2 student athletes to receive the honor by posting at least a 3.9 grade point average in the first semester of this school year. Only 208 scholars of distinction were chosen. The men's and women's lacrosse teams were both in action for 2 games last week and both split the games for a 1-1 record on the week. The men first routed Ferrum College by a score of 10-1 before falling to the Catholic University of America 14-8 to cap their action for the week. On the women's side, much like the men, they began the week with a win by beating Lycoming College 12-10 before dropping their second matchup of the week against Cabrini University by the same score of 12-10. Both teams were represented on the Colonial States Athletic Conference Honor Roll, with Sam Bussinelli and Lauren Smith representing the women and Matt Mitaratanda representing the men. 2 members of the men's and women's swimming and diving teams have been named to the Landmark Conference All-Sportsmanship team. Each team in the Landmark Conference sends 1 representative to be selected for the honor. The All-Sportsmanship team is voted on by the coaches and fellow players of that nominee's team. Graduate student Evan Romines represented the men's team, and senior Gabby Creazzo represented the women. 43 student athletes were named to the list in total. March Madness has taken the sports world by storm as the NCAA tournament began last week with first round, round of 64, and round of 32 play. Close contests and some upsets have made for an intense tournament as always. The Sweet 16 is set and includes 1 seeds Kansas and Gonzaga, but also Cinderella team Xavier. Play begins tomorrow when the Oregon Ducks take on the Michigan Wolverines to determine who will keep their title dreams alive and advance to the Elite Eight. The FBI has recovered Super Bowl 51 Most Valuable Player Tom Brady's game-worn jersey. Brady's jersey went missing from his locker shortly after the Patriots' victory, and Brady's record-setting 5th Super Bowl victory as a quarterback. The jersey was found in Mexico in the possession of an internationally credentialed media member, in addition to Brady's jersey from his Super Bowl 49 victory and Most Valuable Player performance. The jerseys are believed to be worth a combined $800,000. But something tells me that Brady won't be looking to sell these coveted pieces of sports memorabilia anytime soon. That's all for this week. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Nicolo. In recent news, Sesame Street has a new Muppet. The new Muppet named Julia has autism. She first appeared on Sesame Street's online digital storybook series back in 2015, but she's making her TV debut next month. The show's creators say they hope Julia will help children better understand playmates who have autism. Julia's puppeteer Stacey Gordon has a son with autism. She told CBS's 60 Minutes that she wishes Julia was around years ago when her son was of Sesame Street age, as it would have allowed his friends to better understand his behaviors. I think it's really important that Sesame Street has all these inclusive characters that children can relate to of all different types and things
Absolutely.
like that.
I think it's really important for children of all backgrounds to feel welcome and to feel appreciated for who they really are.
Right. On behalf of all the TVM cast and crew, thanks for tuning in. Follow TV Marywood on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram for more Marywood-University news.
Have a good week, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 5 p.m. here at TVM News.